Hi, this is Sifu Fiore, and it's March 6th, 2017. Tonight I just have some very quick thoughts about several things concerning the world, not just the United States, the world. I wanted to ask everybody, do they consider themselves good people? Do you consider yourself a good person? Somebody once asked a master of mine, a grandmaster of mine, I will not reveal his name, but he was asked by a student, "Teacher, what makes a good person a good person?" And the teacher thought for a moment, and his answer was, "That person." So I'm sure everybody would identify with that. We often think that we're not that person. You have to be good from the inside and outside. And that would give us a whole new definition of good, although I do believe everybody knows in their heart what's right from wrong. And most of the earth is inhabited by starving, grieving people. So I just wanted to say a few things more and ask another question. Now, this is a rhetorical question, and I'm still asking you to ask yourself if you're a good person or not. So here's another way to ask that question. Now, if I warned you that if you kept going down that road that I just been down, and that when I went down it, I drove off a cliff, and I barely escaped with my life. Look, I lost my arm. And you continue driving down that road, and indeed you go off the same cliff, and unfortunately, are not as lucky as I was, you're killed. Now, which would you prefer? The other scenario is, I know perfectly well that if you go down that road, you're going to fall off that cliff. What if I choose not to warn you because I'm a spiteful person and I just don't like you? What if I just enjoyed it for my own amusement? So my question to that is, to you, everybody who is good, which would you prefer? Is that a little too soon in this tape, but which would you prefer? That I warn you and you know you're going to go off a cliff, or that I don't warn you and that you're going to go off a cliff? Okay, so just a few statistics. And I do want to look at this globe. It's a children's globe, but it's good for these illustrations. Here's the United States of America, Canada, Alaska, the North Pole, Central and South America. Sorry. Go around the globe. Sorry, that's upside down. Okay. It's just spinning out of control. So maybe this isn't an analogy. The world is spinning out of control. It's unbalanced. So we get to this continent, Africa. Africa is an amazing country that has been ignored by the entire world for so long. Nobody cares about the suffering of these people. There was that whole South African deal, but that's all anybody. Once that happened, Nelson Mandela was made president. Everybody forgot about Africa. They also forget that Africa includes Egypt, and they should really learn geography, I suppose. by one of these balls. So there's that whole continent just loaded with people. I'm asking everybody, if you're a good person, why are so many people starving and dying in Africa? Let's turn it a little to the Middle East. I'll answer the question, although most of you already know it. We're fighting for oil. If there was a resource in Africa, say a new source of energy, we'd be protecting Africa like it was gold. And Africans suffer more than anybody else on earth. I have another tape coming up about statistics and not just about Africa, Middle East, or other global catastrophes. But just real quick, there's 7.5 billion people on this planet. Oops, sorry guys. There's my notes. 7.5 billion people on this planet, right? Okay. 7.5 billion souls, human beings, people that dream. They need to eat. They have nervous systems. They're no better than anybody else. No, you're no better than them. They're human beings that were born where they were born. And I've heard my other master tell me that suffering is a crown that earns great respect. There's 196 countries. Another thing Americans are myopic about, they think America is the only country on the globe. And, writing a check once a month to this UNICEF or whatever program they have going doesn't really get to the actual people. It's stolen by their governments, which are completely corrupt and get away literally with murder and worse crimes that I don't even want to name here. There's absolutely no excuse. None. And I'm going to talk tomorrow about every major religion and even atheism and humanism. And I'm going to show everybody, well, not show you, but I'm going to talk about how each tradition, whether you're a humanist all the way to a Muslim, we all believe in similar concepts. We just need to leave each other alone and stop fighting and help each other, because all we really have is one another, and all that really matters is each other. And in the end, I've seen many people pass away working in the operating room and shock trauma. And everybody that died, if they were conscious and could talk, had regrets on their lips. I'm sorry, I didn't do that. Or, what will you say on your deathbed? Will you have regrets? Are you a good person? Am I a good person? Let's explore this topic a little further tomorrow, and I'll go from A to Z with every tradition and its tradition of peace and generosity to the poor. And I don't care what you believe in or what you don't believe in. This is just information, and it's unbiased because these are statistics anybody can look up. Have a good evening. God bless everybody. I do believe in God. And have a great evening and a fantastic weekend, depending on what part of the world you're from. Take care. God bless you all. This is Sifu Fiore. Good night.